Hi, I'm Eugene Starks and welcome to Southfield Senior Magazine. Today, we'll be bringing you the 50 Plus Speaker Series with Miss Lori Stanley, and she'll be giving us tips on how to keep our minds sharp. Also, special events on our senior calendar, so I hope you enjoy the show today.
What I am presenting today, this program is called Brainstorm, and this was provided to me from the Institute of Gerontology through Wayne State. So everything that I'll be presenting is research, and it was all put together from a grant that they had. So we're going to go through, I'm going to make you do a little bit as we're going through as well. There's some activities to do, so I'll make sure everyone's awake this morning. Okay, so I need all of your help. I need you to repeat after me. We're going to spell the word POTS. P-O-T-S. POTS. P-O-T-S. POTS. P-O-T-S. What? Very good. What do you do at a green light?
Stop. At a green.
Our brains are wired to do that because we were spelling stop backwards. So your brain wants to say that you stop at a green light. So, so that's okay. So brainstorm activities, they strike deep, they energize, and they stimulate connections. Okay, so that's what we did. How well did you hear? So you were listening, but, okay, so I'm gonna make you work this morning. Okay, I'm gonna say a word, and you have to yell it out backwards.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so can everyone hear me okay? Okay. Dog. God. War.
Wrong.
Pupils.
Lapels.
I don't usually do this one. Okay. Slip up. Yeah. Slip up. Yeah.
That's a word.
Okay. Okay, how about this one? Radar.
Radar.
Yeah, okay. That was to trick you. Okay, this is my favorite. Stressed.
Desserts.
Because it's, yeah, stressed backwards is desserts. Sometimes you see that on little written sayings, so. Okay. Now, I'm going to make you all do something else. Okay, so close your eyes, and I'm going to read something to you. Okay? Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. So you're going to close your eyes and concentrate on my voice. It is early morning. You walk to the back of your yard where you are growing a lemon tree. You pick a big, yellow, ripe lemon from the tree. As you return to your kitchen, you roll the lemon between your palms to soften it. A faint citrus smell greets your nose. Inside the kitchen, you slice the lemon in half. You inhale a sharp sniff of lemon. You squeeze each half of the lemon into a clear glass. The juice is pure and strong. Now you place the glass to your lips, tip it, and take a mouthful of tart, pure lemon juice. How does it taste? Is your mouth watering? Are your lips puckering? Okay, so you can open your eyes Did anyone actually experience that and feel like you were actually tasting the lemon a little bit? No? Did it happen for some of you? Usually when I do this presentation, some people will be able to, and they say that they actually kind of, they puckered at it. They actually did taste it, and others don't. But again, that goes back to our hearing and how our brain functions to make us feel that way. So, okay, I have another quiz for you. So this is our virtual tray. These are our items on our tray. Now do not write these items down. I'm going to give you a couple minutes. Stare at the screen. Remember these items. I'll name them off for you. So there's keys, bubble gum, a stapler, a toy car, a Snickers bar, scissors, that's a pen, a dollar bill, a paper clip, and a peacock feather. So I'll give you another couple seconds to look at it, and then I'll quiz you later. I hope everybody is awake this morning. Okay. Stimulation. So you want to shake up your routine. Okay, so everyone cross your arms. Now cross them the other way. It feels a little uncomfortable, doesn't it? It's not what you normally do. If you're wearing a watch, you tend to always put it on the same arm. It's very awkward if you go to put it on the other wrist, isn't it? Because you get in a habit of looking at your watch. Even if you forget your watch that day too, you leave the house, you forget it, you're still, how many times a day do you still do that motion? When I was being trained on this though, they were saying how good it is to shake up your routine because that's making your brain work. So if you're gonna go out for a walk, maybe you're gonna take your dog for a walk, and I say that because my dog is routined. He knows where I'm gonna turn. I try to shake it up, but I don't always do that, right? But every time you go out, you should do a different route. Make yourself think about it. One of the things that somebody has done to shake up their brain, okay, now this is pretty extreme. They went in their kitchen and they changed all their cabinets around. So wherever their glasses were, they put their plates, etc. Everything was different. And how many times do we walk into our kitchen, especially if you've lived in your home for a long time, lived in the same place, you could be blindfolded and still walk in your kitchen probably and get your things out of your cabinets. You know right where you keep them. But if you change things around a little bit, instead of just being a routine, a habit going through your steps, you actually have to stop and think about it. And so that's going to engage your brain and use those brain cells. Okay, so how well do you see? This is up on the screen. I'm going to have Cheryl help me pass out a couple sheets though, so you can take this home too. Just try to read it to yourself, and then I'm going to ask for a volunteer to read it out loud. Yep. You can take this home and quiz your families on this too. So, but again, only 55 out of 100 people can read this. So, everyone should have a pen in front of them for this next activity. Okay, so if you can please stare at the screen. Can everybody see it okay? Okay, so if you read ahead here, it says, you're going to cover your eyes with your hand and then draw this flower with your non-dominant hand. So make sure you really are looking at this flower first. And then when you're ready, make sure you put your pen in your non-dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, put that pen in your left hand. If you're left-handed, put that pen in your right hand. Get yourself situated in front of your paper. You know what, I'm sorry, instead of the notepad, if you even want to flip that paper over, it's easier on the bigger piece of paper. You have to close your eyes. You have your pen in your non-dominant hand and draw that flower.
Oh boy.
It's always fun to see how these turn out. What's that? Yep, go right ahead.
I'm done.
You're done? Okay, I have to peek. I love things.
Right ahead.
Oh, that was good. Okay. Oh, that was good too. And you had the stem on yours with lots of leaves. I like that.
There was some stem down here somewhere, but I couldn't even remember.
That's all right. That was good. Well, that's okay. You got the leaves too in the stem. Okay, so for the next couple slides here, I'm just going to go into a little bit of information for you. So, you know, we've probably all thought about, you know, the risk of Alzheimer's. You've probably had family or friends that have had Alzheimer's. And just so that you all know too, Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. So people can have dementia without necessarily having Alzheimer's. But it should be encouraging to see this, that age 70, people have a 1.4% chance of having Alzheimer's. And you can kind of see how this goes up a little bit. So like for example, at age 75, it goes up to 2.8%. I don't know if you can see this that well from back there, but at age 80, it goes up to 6.6% chance of Alzheimer's. Age of 85, it goes up to 11.15%, or I'm sorry, 11.1%. And then by age 90, it's up to 23.6%. So that's still only, you know, under a 25% chance of someone having Alzheimer's by the age of 25. So, you know, the majority of people who grow old do not get Alzheimer's or any other form of dementia. So this right here, so the NUN study, and nobody in this room has heard of the NUN study before? Okay, this was really interesting. I had not heard of it before I was provided with this information either. So isn't that interesting though, that some of these nuns passed away. After that, their brains were analyzed and found to have had Alzheimer's, but they didn't show any symptoms of it. So this research that this Dr. David Snowden has done for a while really is very interesting. It's hard to find such a controlled environment. In here, these nuns, they're eating the same foods, they have access to the same amount of exercise, the same socialization. And so it really is just a great controlled environment to analyze. But just to talk a little bit about brain anatomy. So you have 100 billion neurons in your brain, as many stars as in the galaxy. You have 100 trillion connections, lots more than on Facebook. But the brain represents only 1 to 1.5% of our body mass, yet needs 20% of our body's total oxygen. And actually, okay, wrinkles are wonderful. So the aging brain, all of our organs change as we age, including our brain. So the main features of the aging brain is atrophy. So your brain is shrinking. On average, the brain loses 5 to 10% of its weight between age 20 to 90. So that's a big range though. Here are some pictures where you can see on the top left corner, there's a healthy younger brain, and as it starts to shrink, it starts to get more pockets. You can see that. How many thoughts do you think you have in a day? Anyone want to take a guess? Hundreds? Thousands? What's that? Thousands? Okay. So you actually, and I'm sorry, got ahead of myself there, you actually have 70,000 thoughts a day. So that's on average. But to go back to the brain, so you have the vascular changes, and then your neurons, each neuron has from 2,000 to 17,000 synapses. It contacts 4,000 other neurons, and then you have an estimated 70 thoughts produced by your brain a day. So your brain's doing a lot, but you want to keep it going and doing a lot and keep it active. So again, you can see the picture of the aging brain here. Again, it loses some of it shrinks. And your electrical impulses pass between your neurons more slowly and less efficiently. And you do have less blood, and thus less oxygen may circulate. With marathon runners though, they could tell that their oxygen levels are higher, so that's good, that's great. This presentation was put together for me, and I have to say the first time this went off, I jumped. But the good news, so there is good news. So the adult neuron is capable of reorganizing its neutral network by forming new connections. So you can still, with stimulating your brain, you can still have that brain cell growth.
And that's by doing different new things.
Exactly, and making yourself really think about what you're doing. So like what we were talking about, you're going to take a different route on your walk, change your watch to a different wrist. Anything you do like that, you're making yourself think more. When you brush your teeth, put your toothbrush in your other hand, in your non-dominant hand. That's kind of hard to do because you have to really think about it, not brush too hard and kind of get, but anything that you do that's out of normal, you're engaging your brain cells more. You're making yourself work. And that's really what we want to do. You want to just keep on doing that. Okay, I have something else for you all to do. And you can stay seated for this, but this is for spatial awareness. So you're going to put your arms out straight if you have room. I don't know if you need to move a little bit next to your neighbor. Okay, and then you're going to close your eyes. Well, look at me first, though, before you close your eyes. Sorry. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to touch your nose. But close your eyes and touch your nose. I'm looking to see if you can all do it. Okay, looks like everybody's doing pretty good here. Okay, so you can open your eyes now. But this is about spatial awareness. So my son is a hockey player, and back when he was 10 years old, he's in high school now, but back when he was 10 years old, he got a really bad concussion. He fell back, hit the back of his head against the goalpost. And I did not know, but this is one of the tests that they give you. And we went to see a neurologist, and it was very scary because when she asked him to do that, here he's a 10-year-old, he's going like this. And you know, as a mom, I was horrified. But he had to have his brain basically reprogrammed. There's a therapy that's called vestibular therapy. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. I hadn't before going through it with my son, but that was one of the things that he had to do, along with physical therapy. But the vestibular therapy is amazing to watch him go through it. It doesn't look like you're doing much, but you are engaging that brain. It is pushing you to the limits for what you can do, but it was amazing to see the difference in him. And vestibular therapy is something that we are actually offering at we have a third party, it's called Link Gym, that's in our independent living area. And they offer vestibular therapy. So if any of our residents are having an issue with balance, they can actually go through this vestibular therapy. It helps engage your brain. It basically like retrains it, and then you get that control back. So it's amazing what our brains do, though, that we just don't think about on a daily basis or know. But it's rewarding to see maybe a resident who has been very active, but unfortunately due to balance, they don't want to fall. They're not being as active anymore. They go through this vestibular therapy and it can really help them a lot. So exercise. You need to get that blood pumping, right? So benefits of aerobic exercise. It pumps oxygen to the brain. It lowers cholesterol. It strengthens the bones. It creates new veins and arteries in the brain too. It improves energy and mood, and it gives you better balance and coordination. Okay, so I have my little cheat sheet on my notes here that I had to find, sorry. So aerobic means with oxygen. So it is exercise that increases your heart rate and your body's need for oxygen. You can breathe a little heavier when engaged in aerobic exercise. This is how you strengthen and clear your lungs. This kind of exercise increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain and other vital organs in the body. The recommended amount of aerobic exercise is 30 minutes, 3 times a day. This does not have to be done all at once, but you can take a brisk Did I say 3 times a day? Get moving. What are we doing sitting? Yeah. Sorry about that. Thank you. Yeah, you're listening. That's awesome. Yeah, so 30 minutes, 3 days a week. Does that sound better? Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you. This does not have to be done all at one time in one day, but you can take a brief walk 3 times a day and fill the requirement, but sustained effort will improve your fitness faster. So this is Charles Euchster, and he holds the world track record in the 200 meter and 400 meter sprints. He also swims, rows, wakeboards, and bodybuilds. He's 96. And this is in his words. He says, I was 87 and realized my body was deteriorating. I had a muffin top waist and my muscles were getting weaker and weaker. I felt so old. So I joined a bodybuilding gym and got a personal trainer to rebuild my body from scratch. So he was very motivated. So that was great. So it's never too late to get started. So everyone knows Simon Says, the game that we played when we were kids, right? Okay, so I'm gonna make this I'm really gonna make you think on this, okay? This is gonna be a little bit more difficult, but I'm gonna do Simon Says, but you have to do opposite of what I say. So, all right, so Simon says, touch your nose with your right hand. So you actually have to touch it with your left. It's going to be opposite of what I say. Okay, so Simon says, with your left hand, touch your head. So did everyone use their right hand? Use your right hand because you want opposite of what I said. This is really making you think, isn't it? Okay, Simon says, touch your leg with your left hand. I did it backwards. Touch your knees. Oh, Simon didn't say. Okay. Oh, no one fell for that. That was good. Okay, see, you're all paying attention. That was good. All right, so nutrition. So feed the body, feed the brain. So there's omega nutrition for the heart and for the head. You have omega-3 fatty acids found in salmon, sardines, flaxseed, walnuts, and almonds. Some of this you probably already know, but this is just going to kind of review some things, and maybe some of it you didn't know. But it's good to increase your vitamin C and E, colored fruits and vegetables, 5 servings a day. How many of us actually get that? I know I'm bad about it too. Oh, you're good. Okay, that's great. Green leafy vegetables. You want to limit your red meat and processed foods. You want to have antioxidants, like in blueberries. My personal favorite, dark chocolate. It's healthy, it says it right there. You can eat. And then eat 1 meal socially a day. You know, when you're eating with someone, first of all, you're probably going to eat slower. Sometimes if you're just eating in front of the TV by yourself, you might eat a lot more than you should be because you're not thinking about it. But eating socially, you're engaging in that conversation. That's so important. You're stimulating your brain with conversation. At Allegria Village, you can even take a bottle of wine and have it with your meal too. That makes it fun as well. But it is very important to eat 1 meal socially a day. Oh, and one of the things that I didn't mention, so these are just a couple of things that I'm going to go over here. So we've learned earlier that our brain's made up of 60% fat. Omega-3 fats will help transit information from one neuron to another. So heart healthy as well. Research has found that high-fat foods, such as fast food, elevated the markers found in Alzheimer's, which is scary because I know I eat more fast food than I should be. Walnuts, funny that they look like the brain, have shown in studies that they have a dramatic impact on the brain's ability to process information and come to conclusions. Now this is interesting. Other studies have shown that a diet including more than 2% walnuts was able to reverse brain aging, including age-related motor and cognitive defects. That's amazing. So when I was being trained on this, they said, that's about 6 walnuts a day. So if you have 6 walnuts a day, you could really be increasing your memory. So we talked about the socialization at mealtime. You can also slow down your eating. Foods rich in antioxidants are good for the body. But keep in mind what research is telling us. In order to achieve benefits associated with antioxidants, so to go back to like the blueberries, you'd have to consume 60 cups of blueberries a day. Yeah. Antioxidants are only absorbed through the digestive system, so save yourself more and do not buy the topical products as they do not absorb. You know how sometimes the different products will sell different lotions or whatever that say that it's so good. If you're not ingesting it though, it's not going to have that same effect. So spices, there are some spices that really have a lot of benefits as well. Turmeric is found in curry, and it decreases the plaque in the brain thought to be responsible for Alzheimer's disease. The next one on the list here is saffron is an effective antidepressant. Sage can help boost memory. Cinnamon helps us focus and regulate our blood sugar. Basil improves the blood flow to the heart and brain and has anti-inflammatory properties. Thyme increases the amount of DHA, an essentially fatty acid in the brain. Oregano has brain healing antioxidant power. Garlic promotes better blood flow to the brain, but be careful because garlic supplements can thin the blood too much. Ginger may be helpful in the treatment of Parkinson's disease and migraine headaches. And rosemary diminishes cognitive decline in people with dementia. So I don't know if any of you knew all of that before or some of it before. I thought that was interesting. When I was first trained in this, I went home and Googled different recipes that, that I could make with different things. Rosemary, I just came up with chicken recipes. But it is really good to just incorporate all these different things. There really are a lot of health benefits. For vitamins and supplements, so vitamin C is an antioxidant needed by the immune system. It creates collagen for connective tissue, skin, hair, and nails. Smokers need more of it. Keep it to 100 to 300 milligrams per day for safety. Too much can cause stomach pains. And with all of this that I'm going to go over, if you're going to increase any of your vitamins or anything, it's always best to consult a doctor first. You may be on other medications that could have side effects with it. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant, which can be obtained only as a food supplement. The most widely known health benefits of vitamin E are protection against toxins, such as air pollution, eye disorders, such as cataracts, and neurological diseases, such as Alzheimer's disease and diabetes. 500 to 600 IUs of E per day for cataracts and macular degeneration. But don't overdose and don't take it with blood thinners or grapefruit. Folic acid, this is one of the B vitamins. You probably know that folic acid is important in pregnancy for the healthy fetal development, but adults need it too. A large Dutch study found that over 3 years, people between 50 and 70 who took folic acid supplements improved their cognitive function. So they improved their ability to think and remember. Studies in mice have found that folic acid deficiency may play a key role in Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease. Vitamin B12, and I'm sorry I'm not going in the exact order here, but vitamin B12 works well with folic acid. It helps to form red blood cells. Low B12 causes tingling sensations in legs and arms, forgetfulness, weakness, and anemia. And it's found in fortified breads and cereals. Choline is the next one. Has anyone heard of choline? You have, okay. I hadn't before I did this, but choline is found in egg yolks, beef, salmon, and cauliflower in good amount. It's a key brain food because it keeps brain chemicals in balance. It's also good for the nervous system. Choline helps with learning and memory. And it helps your body produce a chemical that encourages neurons to talk to each other. So, and of course, drink 8 glasses of 8 ounces of water a day. I know that's hard to do. I am just the biggest culprit of that. I know I need to drink, and every day I say, oh, I'll do it this time, and I'll get my big water jug filled up, and and then we forget. But there really is a lot of benefits to that as well. There are common over-the-counter drugs that can worsen memory. You'll notice on here a lot of them have their drugs with a PM next to it. So Advil PM, Tylenol PM, Excedrin PM, the ones a lot of times that you take to make yourself go to sleep. If you're having a hard time, you have insomnia, you take those. But your brain, sometimes when you wake up from after taking those, your brain's a little bit foggier. You know, it slowed down your brain. It's really not the best to take. You know, sometimes you have to, but it does worsen your memory. Benadryl, Claritin for allergies, Dramamine, Pepcid AC, Zantac, that can all worsen your memory. The good news though is that once you stop taking it, you can start to improve your memory again. It's just kind of as it's in your system, so that's the good news. But keep that in mind next time you go to take that. Do you really need it? Maybe think twice about it. Okay, who can remember our virtual tray and the items that we had on it? So don't say it out loud. If everybody could just take a couple minutes, write down on your little pad of paper. There were 10 items total. See how many you can remember. Is everybody done? Did anyone remember 10 items? Did anyone remember 9? 8? Okay, you have 8? Oh, both of you, okay. So if I can ask you, so how did you remember the items? Did you visualize a screen or did you do it a different way? You did? Okay, did everyone hear that? I'm sorry. Okay, so she said she categorized them and she told herself that a lot of them were office materials. Yeah, that's interesting. So all of us remember a different way. And you said normally you're a visual learner, so that's how. I've had a lot of people say in the presentation that they do it from categorizing. I even had one lady say that she made a whole story about each one and how it was related to each other, and she remembered, I think it was 8 of them. So she did a really good job with it that way. But it works different for different people. You know, it's how you're gonna remember, so. Okay, I have one more just fun little thing I'm gonna have you do, and then that concludes the presentation. But if you can, and everyone can sit in a chair, that's fine, but if you can lift your right foot, you're going to rotate your foot clockwise. Okay, so you have your right foot lifted, you're rotating your foot, your ankle, clockwise. Now make a number 6 in the air. That's usually the reaction that we get. Yeah, that's it's tough to do, isn't it? And that concludes our presentation. Thank you for coming today.
That's the end of today's program. Thank you for sharing part of your day with us today. I'm Eugene Starks, and we'll see you next time.